Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to another Green Square Talks Battlebots prediction podcast. So, I present you the episode 9 fight card, where we got several more great fights coming. We've already seen 8 episodes full of great matchups, and I'm sure we're going to see a bunch more on this upcoming episode. So, yeah, so this will be the same as usual. Go through each fight one by one, share my prediction, and discuss the fight a little bit, because that's kind of the idea of these prediction podcasts. So, yeah. If you like what you see here, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and definitely reply down below with your predictions. I always love hearing what everybody has is for their predictions, who everybody thinks is going to win each one of these matchups. So it's always fun to see. I always love hearing it, and yeah. So yeah, looking at this fight card, every single robot here. This is round 3 fight. Hey, some of these robots looking really good for a top 32 spot. Will be gunning for a top seed, at least with a possible victory in this episode. Some robots might be in a bit of a hole here that they're looking to dig out of, and could be in a bit of a must-win fight if they were to make bracket. Regardless, this is shit. I bet another great episode's coming. Let's start talking about the fights. So, leading off the episode, Gruff and Witch Doctor. It's an interesting showcase here, and I think that's going to be the biggest test of the season so far for Gruff's durability right there, because Witch Doctor is a massive spinner, and Witch Doctor's been looking really good this year. Like, Witch Doctor could possibly get the 1 seed in the bracket if they keep this up. Like, yeah. So Gruff is currently sitting at 1-1. Started off with a win against Ripperoni, but then lost to Quantum for their second fight. Witch Doctors got wins over both Ribot and Fusion, and Witch Doctors proven their weapon hits hard in the Ribot fight, and then proved that they're very durable robot as for how much damage they took against Fusion and managed to still survive the full 3 minutes and win that fight. So yeah. So my prediction is I'm going Witch Doctor for this one. This is probably my most confident prediction on this entire fight card right there. So my big concern is that I think there's not a lot I feel Gruff can really do in this one, and I feel the stuff it could do to win are a little bit unlikely because Mike Lately's driving has been phenomenal, and Witch Doctor's been looking great so far. So basically, I expect we're probably going to see lots of action from Witch Doctor's vertical spinner, and I think Witch Doctor is going to eventually disable the drive on Gruff after enough hits from the vertical spinner. But yeah, the only ways I can really think of that I could maybe see Gruff taking this one would be, like, for one, if Witch Doctor starts randomly having issues or something like that. Second one, if they can just avoid the vertical spinner altogether and start bullying Witch Doctor with, like, the forks or maybe the flamethrower if they get an opportunity for it. But yeah, I think odds are more in Witch Doctor's favor for this one, which is why I'm going to go Witch Doctor for this one. Fight number 2. Then this is where some of the fights get hard to predict. Malice and Valkyrie. We got a battle of 2 horizontal spinners. So Malice, a horizontal drum spinner, currently sitting at a 1-1 record, with a pretty quality loss to Lockjaw to start the season off, in my opinion, and then sadly a not very quality victory against Emulsifier. But a win's a win regardless. They're up against Valkyrie, who started off with a win over Mammoth. Probably not the most quality victory in my opinion, but once again, a win's a win. And then lost to Banshee. And so, yeah. Basically, my basically the advantages I think of each robot with Malice. I would probably consider them to be the faster, more maneuverable robot, and I think I'd probably consider them the better driven robot as well. And then on Valkyrie's end, I think Valkyrie is probably the more reliable spinner, and then I think they have a reach advantage that could really help them in this one. Yeah, so I think Malice is going with a drumstick, like what they've done for their first 2 fights for their weapon choice, and I'm guessing they probably added extra armor or something like that. I don't know the answer for sure. I haven't seen any posts like that. But then Valkyrie, they get went with some extra front armor, and then they're also bringing in Glory for their horizontal spinner for this one. It's the same spinner they used against Rotator, or if you remember that fight from a couple seasons ago. So yeah. I am going to go Malice with this one, but this is a hard one to predict because what I'm most nervous about, at least on Malice's end, is like that it isn't Malice's reliability or anything like that. It's more that Valkyrie's an undercutter. Malice could be vulnerable to shots on the underside from Valkyrie if their horizontal spinner isn't able to like deflect Valkyrie's spinner or something like that. But then on the other hand, I'd probably say Valkyrie could be vulnerable. Well, if let's see, how do I explain this? If they don't keep their front fully towards Malice could definitely chip one of the sides, maybe get to a wheel or something. But even though I think that's probably unlikely to happen, because I think we're probably going to see a bunch of weapon on weapon warfare in this fight, I think this one's just going to come down to basically who breaks down first between the two robots, and I think that could go either direction. I'm probably going to go with Malice on this one, but I'd say this is probably a must-win fight for both robots, and hopefully a quality victory too, because I feel both robots probably need to show a bit more right now to the selection committee as for the bracket, whether they want combination of getting into the top 32 and getting a pretty high seed. So yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Malice, but that's a tough one to call. Fight number 3, Mad Catter and Big Dill. And between all the fights on the fight card, this is one of the fights I'm most looking forward to, at least. So Mad Catter's currently sitting at a 1-1 record right now. Basically, they started off with a very good victory against Whiplash, and then lost to Riptide for their second fight. Big Dill currently at 2 losses right now, but I'd say they're one of the better 0-2 robots. I'd say them and Emulsifier have two good 0-2 records in my opinion. Big Dill started off with probably a little bit of a disappointing loss to Hijinks, but a very quality loss to Scorpios because they debuted the vertical spinner, and I admitted this during that episode review podcast, but I underestimated how hard that vertical spinner hits and the kind of damage it can cause to an opponent right there. And just what it was able to do to such a well armored and durable robot like Scorpios they're just knowing what Zach and Diane were talking about in that podcast and what they talked about in their builder blog from after that fight. Uh, and I think, yeah, but yeah, Big Dill confirmed on social media that they are going with a similar configuration to what they did against Scorpios, basically. But then they have a mini bot coming for this one, and so they commented how we're about to see a battle between two main bots as well as two mini bots. So that should be pretty epic to see. But I'm really looking forward to this battle also because like two relatively similar designs here. Just Big Deal has a different fork design, and I think Mad Catter's probably got the more powerful vertical spinner, but we got two great drivers in there, Calvin Eba and Manuel Carrillo. Oh, so yeah, I think this is gonna be a banger of a fight in my opinion. As for my prediction, I'm gonna go with the unexpected outcome here. I'm gonna predict Big Dill for this fight. But this is another one where it's a hard one to predict right there because Mad Catter has absolutely been looking fierce so far this season, as they always do. Mad Catter's been looking fierce ever since they showed off the vertical spinner configuration back in 2020, and definitely I think like the thing that I'm also predicting with this one is like I basically, I think this is going to be one of those fights where lots of people are expecting it to be like a really one-sided showdown, basically, and a clear winner when looking at this fight. Because like if this was last season, I'd definitely have Mad Catter as like my most confident prediction. But I think this is one where I think this could be a seriously quality fight, at least, just because both robots have been looking really good this season. Like other like not thinking about record or anything like that. Like just watching these two robots fight in their first couple fights, like they've both been looking pretty solid. So yeah, I'm gonna go Big Dill for this one because like the other thing that I didn't mention is that Emmanuel was talking about in that social media post is basically he mentioned that he's been on the team with Mad Catter or the past couple seasons, as well as with Cat King at King of Bots. based on what he said. So like he knows the design really well. He knows how to fight that thing better than probably most other people do. Like it's worked to the benefit of some, it hasn't worked to the benefit of others. But that but yeah, I also like the showing we got from Big Dill's vert last time, including I think it's got a reach advantage in this. And some of those reasons are why I'm going to go Big Dill for this fight. I'm going to predict the upset here. I don't know if I'd exactly consider it an upset, but I'll just say that. Fight number 4, Ribot and Jackpot. And this is a strange one because like this is probably the most must-win scenario out of any fight in this fight card because both these robots are sitting at, in my opinion, a shocking 0-2 record right now. But then the strength of schedule is absolutely there for both those robots because all 4 of their opponents put together are undefeated so far between the robots they've fought so far. Ribot's got losses to Witch Doctor and Claw Viper, and then Jackpot has losses to Scorpios and Rotator's not undefeated. My bad, but regardless, though, the strength of schedule is there for those robots. Is the point I was going to be bringing up right there. So yeah, I think this one's really going to come down to what configuration is Ribot going with for this fight. If I took a guess, I would probably bet they go with the undercutter for this fight. The reason why I say the undercutter is I feel Ribot's kind of at a disadvantage with the vertical spinner if they do that. Not because of like ground game, like not because of ground game or something like that. It's just because of like the big concern that Scorpios brought up when they were preparing for Jackpot for that fight. It's that Jackpot's big vertical spinners have a really large amount of reach to them. And I think if Ribot went with the vertical spinner, Jackpot could possibly use that reach, try to snipe like a weapon belt or tear apart the wedgelets or something like that. So I bet Ribot goes with the better mobility and maneuverability and tries to go and try to hit the underside of Jackpot. Maybe try to get a couple wheels or something like that. So so yeah, sorry Pori, but I'm going Jackpot on this one, even though Pori almost certainly saw this coming because while Pori's a Ribot fan, I'm a fan of Jackpot. So uh, my reasoning being the exposed wheels and also the reach stuff that I was talking about. Because I think if Jackpot goes after Ribot from the right angle, regardless of what configuration, they could possibly not only hit the frame, maybe could get a wheel or something like that, similar to what Witch Doctor was doing when they fought Ribot. And if they remove some wheels, that'll cripple the mobility of Ribot, and that'll be it for Ribot. So, but then yeah, if David Jin can stay on point with his driving or just outdrive Jackpot and avoid the vertical spinners, Ribot could definitely win this themselves too. So I'm definitely not underestimating that frog because Ribot's definitely looked really good this season too. So despite their record, but yeah, regardless, this is a must-win fight because I think whoever loses this fight they might not make bracket this year, which is really unfortunate because like these are 2 big names in Battlebots, and it'd be sad to see one of these. It'd be sad to see these robots not make the bracket this season after doing so well the previous couple of seasons. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So next fight, a fight that I know a lot of fans have been wanting. I'm not exactly on that list, but it's one of those fights where like, heck yeah, I'd love to see Scorpios and Sawblaze, but yeah, both robots. This is one fight where I think whoever wins this fight is going to be looking really good as for the bracket, and will for sure confirm their spot in the top 32. Because both robots currently undefeated right now. Scorpios has wins over Jackpot and Big Dill. Sawblaze has victories over Hypershock and Lockjaw. So, so yeah, so basically, what we know, Sawblaze is like I don't know exactly what Sawblaze is going with, but if I took a guess, I bet they're going for ground game and powerful hammer saw. Obviously, Scorpios they revealed this on this podcast. I believe they revealed it on Robocast. They revealed it on their builder blog too. That they are going with a different configuration than what we have seen so far this season. They are using the overkill blade, which is something I'm so excited for because ever since I heard Scorpios had the overkill blade and brought it as a configuration for this season, I really want to see it in just one fight, even if it's like this fight with Sawblaze right here. But yeah, while you might be commenting right now that you're wondering why would Scorpios go with the Overkill Blade for a fight with Sawblaze, such an elite robot like that? I'm just gonna say this right off the bat. I absolutely support that decision because yeah, Zach explained it really well both on this podcast and on the Builder blog, and so on what he's trying to go for with that one. So basically, basically, the one big disadvantage that there is between these two robots right there when going up against each other is if they go head on and we see a stalemate. And by the way, Scorpios confirmed they added 10 pounds of magnets to the bottom of their robot, so it's unlikely we're going to see wheelies from Scorpios in this one. They're likely to stay flat to the floor, like what we saw in like the jackpot fight. So if we saw like a stalemate of these two going head on, these two aren't going to do much to each other if they both come in with their overhead spinners for this one. Basically, there's just not a lot of reach, basically, to where these two robots will be able to do some serious damage if they went head on like that. But if Scorpios came with the Overkill Blade, they have the reach to where they could possibly strike something important, like the weapon area, which is what Zach is looking to target. Because there's a couple weapon, there are a couple spots in Sawblaze's weapon area that cannot be protected without like completely blocking off the hammer saw from being able to strike its opponent. So basically, that's what Zach is going to be trying to target right there, which is the big reason why I'm in support of them using the Overkill Blade for this fight. So yeah, regarding this one with my prediction right there, I'm not going to count on them going head on exactly. I think that's probably not likely to happen because I think Sawblaze is almost certainly going to try to outmaneuver Scorpios, and I don't know if that happened exactly, but I do worry if Sawblaze gets underneath Scorpios even once while avoiding the Overkill Blade from striking the weapon area. Sawblaze could do some vicious damage with that hammer saw, and I think that damage advantage right there is why I'm going to be predicting Sawblaze for this fight. Right, though. I really want to see Scorpios take this one, but like I think unless if they get that perfect shot, which they got to have good aim for that, because that's a difficult shot to land. But yeah, yeah. I think I like Sawblaze on this one. I think this one will probably go the full 3 minutes if I took a guess right there, because like while Sawblaze is so well known for offense, Scorpios is so well known for defense and some pretty insane durability. I think Scorpios will be able to take the hits pretty well if Sawblaze gets opportunities to land shots with the hammer saw. But regardless, though, I can't wait to see this fight. I can't wait to see the Overkill Blade in action and see how well it works out for them. Okay, next fight. Fight number 6. We got Ripperoni and Hijinks. So, yeah. So, Ripperoni, currently sitting at 1-1, started off with a loss to Gruff, then got a huge amount of momentum with that win against Endgame in their previous match. Then Hijinks, on the other hand, they're also in a 1-1 scenario. Started off with a win against Big Dill, then took a loss to Captain Shredderator. So, yeah, so I'm not sure what to expect with this one, especially since this is fight number 6 right there. But I'm going to predict hijinks on this one. Like, I'm not fully convinced on Ripperoni yet, and that's not saying that, like, I think their win against Endgame was luck, because that is not true one bit. Hijinks, like, Ripperoni absolutely won that fight decisively and got some good moments in there, even when after they freed Endgame from the kill saws right there. But yeah, my reasoning for why I'm predicting hijinks here is like, what is Ripperoni's defense for horizontal spinners right there? Because I don't think they have. I'm not sure if they have a plow. I'm guessing they're going with like the sloped wedge, like what we've seen in their previous matches for this. And I bet they're probably going to try to go weapon on weapon with hijinks, or try to go for like the wheels or the tail or something. I don't know, but yeah, I'm not sure how well they'll be able to take the hits from a massive bar spinner like hijinks right there, and that's my big concern for Ripperoni in this one. But then on the other hand, Ripperoni could absolutely shoot hijinks across the box, like what uppercut did to hijinks a couple seasons ago. But yeah, some stuff like this is why this is a really hard fight to predict, in my opinion. And for the reasons listed, I'm predicting hijinks for this one. But yeah, tough one to predict. All right, last but not least, main event time. We got Endgame and Hypershock, a rematch from a couple seasons ago, the year that Endgame won the whole thing. So yeah, I'm predicting Endgame for this fight. I think Endgame's going to win this one once again. And that is not because Endgame won the last one, because, like, gotta make it clear that this is a whole different Hypershock than what we saw a couple seasons ago. As Endgame's also quite a bit improved, but regardless, though, these are two evolved robots from the last time they fought. So, what I kind of expect for this one is I expect Hypershock's probably going to try to avoid going weapon on weapon at least. I bet we're gonna see a lot of donuts by Will Bales to try to circle around Endgame and try to time his shots right. Try to determine the pace of the fight, like what Hypershock was so well known for last season. So, because basically my reasoning for that is like we've seen Endgame, who's got a really big fork configuration coming. I expect Hypershock's probably also got forks for this one too. If they go head on, I bet Endgame wins that weapon on weapon, wins that head on collision right there, and ends up landing a huge hit on Hypershock. But yeah, and then Jack's also done an amazing job with robots that have tried to take advantage of Endgame's gyroscopic forces by doing donuts around Endgame. And I think he'll do a good job protecting his robot, at least, from those types of attacks from Hypershock. But yeah, regardless though, I'm not counting out Hypershock at all, because definitely if Will Bales can time his shots right, he could absolutely get to something important on Endgame, and we could see Endgame at a 1-2 record, or coming out of this. Regardless though, I think whoever wins this fight is going to be in a really good spot for the bracket. Whoever loses this one, I wouldn't say they're necessarily out yet, because I think they absolutely could get a playoff spot with their fourth match, because both robots have had pretty solid strength of schedule so far, and yeah, so uh, we'll call it at that. Basically, I'm gonna go Endgame for that for the main event. So, all right, let's go ahead and review predictions quick. All right, here are my predictions right there. So I'm going Witch Doctor, Malice, Big Dill, Jackpot, Sawblaze, Hijinks, and Endgame for this one. So another hard fight card to predict. Several of these fights definitely could go either way, and I expect we're going to see a lot of destruction in this one with a couple of fights in mind. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Scorpios Overkill Blade. I already forgot what they pronounced it as in the Builder blog. But I wish I remembered it. Otherwise, I would have said that. And I'm also looking forward to Mad Catter Big Dill, because I think that fight's gonna be an absolute beast of a showdown. But we'll see. So be sure to tune in this Thursday to check out the episode, and hopefully it's another fun one to watch. So yeah, that'll do it for this podcast. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe as usual. Comment down below your predictions. I absolutely love hearing who you all think will win each of these 7 matchups. So it's always fun to see how people agree or disagree with my predictions. Totally cool, regardless, and that's the fun part about doing these videos and the fun about watching this sport. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.